Day 22 of this series, following Alex Hormozi's advice until I make 10K MRR. It's been a while, again, since I last posted a video because hold on, gotta give Cloud permission here. I was out of town again and I had another vacation. It turns out that I had two vacations that were really important to me, that were planned more than a year out, that happened in the same month back to back, which, as someone who is really trying to get things going with the marketing business, but has time because I have my software stuff to provide me income, it feels gross to take time off to basically deepen the relationships that I have with my family and my friends, which are extremely important to the longevity of my life and my happiness and all those things, which are all super important. But it feels gross doing unproductive things when I'm not where I want to be at all whatsoever. And so that's really hard to go on vacation, which is weird to say. But I'm a man of my word. I have committed to them, and so I'm going to them. They're extremely important to me. Some of the most fond memories that I have and will have probably of this year happened on those vacations. And so, I don't really know what Hormozi would say about that. It depends on my goals. If my goal is to have healthy, thriving relationships with people that I love, then going on vacation is conducive to that. And if I have another goal to own a business and have employees, going on vacation is not conducive to that. So I have two goals that are competing, and you just kind of use your discernment to figure out what's important, choose what to do. So anyways, I was on vacation. Now I'm back, and I am on the hunt to do the highest leverage thing that I can do to jumpstart my marketing business. I haven't been giving a lot of updates. There's been a lot of moments where it's like, okay, I have an opportunity, it comes up, I send a proposal, and then I'm waiting, I'm twiddling my thumbs while still working on software stuff, and then nothing happens. I sent out a proposal. So this is kind of where I'm at right now, where I think my skill sets lean towards, where people are starting to come to me for in just general conversations, is helping entrepreneurs who have a really poor online presence for their companies kickstart that online presence through founder-led marketing, building a personal brand to support all the brands that they're involved with. This is what Alex Hormozi did to a T, built up his personal brand, which elevated all the companies and brands that he's involved with, which is sick. And I watch a lot of content about that stuff in some way, shape, or form. I've been practicing it on YouTube, on Instagram, and seeing, a small amount of success so far as understanding how to build an audience. And so my skill sets naturally seem to lean that direction. Now, if I want to start a business in that and start making money, I need to work with people who are entrepreneurs, who don't have a strong marketing presence, and so they're stuck at our company is here. In order to scale, we need to do some sort of marketing effort that we haven't done in the past. And usually that's going to be scaling their relationship capacity, which has to happen through social media. Because you can't scale, for a single individual to scale their relationships. It's either go on more coffee one-on-ones and lunches, which then hits a limit. And so I've had two people come to me for that sort of thing. Number one, send a proposal to them to help them basically start doing their founder-led marketing for a health and wellness business, and went back and forth a little bit. They loved what I proposed. Initially, they wanted me to help with social media management for 4 brands, and I was like, no, don't do that. You're one person who's the founder of all of these, and ultimately, the person who has to be the face for them. Your time divided amongst all these is going to cause either burnout if you want to do it well, or you're most likely not going to do any of it well, and so it's all going to be a bunch of wasted energy. Put don't invest into building these brands individually. Invest into building your personal brand and have that, run ads through the account for the individual brands, and et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm not going to dive so into that right now on this video, but they loved it. They were stoked on it. They totally agreed. Right now they're going through a big transition from being in-person health and wellness clinic to being telehealth, like literally this month. There's a lot going on. So they're like, hey, we're not ready yet. Reach out to us in September. I've faced a good amount of rejection. This one, my spidey senses tell me that they're legit about wanting to work with me, and it's not like a, hey, we just don't want to work with you, but we'll give you a different excuse so that we don't feel bad, sort of not work with me right now. And so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. But then I have a second opportunity now where I'll be having a meeting at the end of next week where this guy was a mentor of mine, and then a buddy of mine who works for him. He was like, hey man, let's chat about like LinkedIn marketing and things like that, because he's been seeing a bunch of my LinkedIn posts, which is funny. I don't really put much effort into LinkedIn, but I'll post on it here and there, and people talk to me about my LinkedIn more than my Instagram. It's a powerful platform, it just is, in the business world, and something you post 3 weeks ago will like show up in someone's feed today. And so it's an interesting platform. And so anyways, we get coffee, basically just drills me with questions for 30 minutes. My buddy works for one of my old mentors, and who owns like a financial accounting firm and tax firm. That does great. I think more than 10 or 15 employees, incredible culture, and he's built it. The mentor, he's built the entire company off of like one-on-one relationships, getting lunch, getting coffee, doing family planning for finance and stuff like that. And so the business itself, the people within it, in order for them to grow, the business needs to scale at a rate that's faster than the mentor's capable of growing it, how he's grown it in the past, because it's all been one-on-one. Whereas what needs to happen is he needs to be able to grow the business in a one-to-many fashion, hence social media. And so they're taking a look at that. So my buddy Luke, we got coffee, asked me a bunch of questions, many of which were like things that he's thought of, but that Mark, my mentor, has had objections towards, like not wanting to do short form videos or A, B, C, D things. And I was like, here's how you handle that objection. This is why that's a bad idea. You should do a personal brand, like you shouldn't do it with this thing, and round and round. So he's got this huge thing of notes. He's like scribbling down the whole time we're talking. And at the end of it, I'm thinking to myself, okay, like Luke said that they don't have, I think he said they don't have the budget right now to like hire and work with someone to do marketing. So I was like, cool, like I'll answer questions, totally fine. At the end of it, I was like, man, here's the thing. And this is kind of what this whole video is about and leading up to, is that free work, what is the highest leverage? Like what's the value in doing free work for someone? The value is, for me, is that I get to work with a caliber of person that I wouldn't otherwise be able to work with, because I reduce the risk for them because I work for free. However, when I'm shooting up here, it means that there's the risk for them is like their time, their effort, their energy, their brand, right? Their reputation if I don't do a great job. And so I've been shooting for working with people that are maybe above my experience, or like just work that I haven't done for a long time, that I'm confident I can do, but don't have like an example of having done it recently, besides for my own personal brand stuff. And so I was like, hey man, I'll do the work for free. Tell Mark, I'll work for you guys for free, help you build the personal brand, and go from there. And the reason I said that is because, number one, I want the marketing business, say what I've been ideating on lately is I want to make great people known. There are a lot of incredible men and women who I really relate to from like a faith basis, and who do incredible work for a lot of clients that people just they're not aware of them, of the work they do and how incredible they are. And I think great people should be known, and not great people should not be known, ideally. However, if you're going to, it's less like people who are great at what they do aren't always incredible promoters, especially of themselves, because they have humility and maybe not as much of an ego. Seems to be not always the case, but sometimes. And so, at least for like the mentor that I'm chatting about, like when he comes to mind, he's like, yeah, great guy. And so I want to help those people be known to the right audience of people that they can help. And where was I going with this? And so the caliber of person that Mark is in the company that he runs, being, let's say, above what I've done in the past, or I don't have like experience that totally aligns with maybe what he would pay for, whatever, doing it for free allows me to then work with him to get that experience. And that essentially helps me skip a whole bunch of, working for months with different people on a paid basis to eventually work my way up to working with the caliber of person that Mark is. And so that's the bet, is if I work for free for this person, the only reason I can work with them is because I'm reducing their risk. Therefore, I'm leaping forward in my caliber of clientele, which I think is the most elegant way that I've put it so far in this video. And so that's the goal. Work with a high caliber person that I wouldn't be able to work with if I were not to reduce the risk. And then when I do work with them, and Lord willing, produce results, right? Work my butt off, do really well, then with that comes a case study, confidence, and proof that I can do what needs to be done to help someone grow their personal brand and improve their business. I could hyper niche down into working with the exact same type of companies and people that Mark is and Mark does, and that sort of thing. And so that's like, I'm patient. I'm deciding to be patient. I'm not rushing into, let me just get somebody to start paying me, because I don't think that's the fastest way to grow. Like if I were on the video that I post on this account, the most viral video, which was the making 2 or 3 cold calls, and I'm cold calling like home service business in the Valley. Like if I were to start there and land a couple $300 to $1,000 clients by just absolutely grinding and doing that, yeah, I would not want to be running that business. It wouldn't be catering to like this niche skill set / like knowledge that I have about personal branding and Instagram and building audiences, and it wouldn't be as fun. And I'd be probably dealing with caliber of entrepreneur that is not as aligned with the type of person that I want to work with, to my knowledge. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of the assumption that I'm making. So this is the bet that I'm making, and it just takes time to like send out proposals and build relationships and talk through things, and pretty much every 1 to 3 weeks, I've been having things come up where I'm like, cool, like, let's talk, let me send a proposal, things, and just nothing has stuck yet, because I'm allowing myself to have high standards for the people that I want to work with and my willingness to do the work. And along the way, have been learning more and more about really what I want to do, which I just described, make great people known. And so that's the goal with that. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Have a meeting with them end of week next week. Started going on dates with a girl too, which is another thing that takes time out of my day and distracts from business. But having a family is of higher priority to me than getting rich faster. There's a lot there. I'm not gonna get into that. Anyways, and it hasn't been that much of a distraction anyways. Anyways. That's all. We're gonna end it there. Still working on this software project, which has been fun. It's incredible how quickly Cloud is just getting better and better. Okay. I'll keep you guys posted on what I hear after the meeting end of next week. And we'll go from there. Sorry the updates are so few and far in between. But again, there hasn't been a whole lot to update on. And, slow growth. Good thing I never put a timeline on this 10K MRR challenge, because y'all would be pissed if I was like, I'm gonna do it in a month. Here we are. And I don't know if it's been like probably 50 days. I mean, we're in day 22, but that's just to keep the numbers even, but really it's probably been like 40 to 50 days. But I'm making progress and moving forward, and a lot of times I think progress sometimes doesn't feel like anything is actually happening. But it is. Sorry, I don't have proof of that yet. But you'll see. You'll see. I'm confident. That's all. Peace.